right, here we are. The technology worked last week. That is the first big announcement. So we are now Series 4, Episode 2. Series 4, Episode 2. Yes, we have made it this far. And we are going to keep this conversation going about agility and leadership and mindset. And today we are going to delve right into the growth mindset. And that a growth mindset is an agile mindset. So I don't normally have visuals up on the screen, and I am not going to attempt to do it today, but I am going to read a few things to you because I don't have to come up with all the words myself. Other people have written really great things about this that will help us tie this concept together. So first thing, tomorrow, our featured guest blogger, Kyle Richardson, is going to be back with a blog about mindset, mindfulness, growth, and how we keep ourselves moving instead of crawling into holes that cause us problems. So please check that article out tomorrow because it is going to be amazing. He has some really insightful words to share with us. But let's dive into this whole thing with this growth mindset. Okay, first of all, let's start with the second word, the mindset. What the heck is a mindset? Why are people always talking about what's your mindset? Where are you with your mindset? What does that mean? So let's talk about how mindset impacts us. And there are many, many mindsets, and you can have more than one at the same time. But today we're going to talk about fixed versus growth and how that leads or does not lead to agility. So let's just have a few words about this thing, mindset. So the nature of mindsets, they are habits. They are created by experiences, but they can also create blind spots because, again, they're created by our experiences. So the mindsets shape us. They shape our lives. They shape our world. Sometimes they can lead to those blind spots. They can be self-deceptive because we can get stuck in our own little heads. But at the same time, mindsets can be developed and they can be transcended. So I know from personal experience where I am today and where I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and probably 30 years ago, nobody really wanted to deal with me and my mindset. That can change. We can evolve and we can shift and transform. Just like we want to shift and transform our organizations, we can do that with our own mindsets. In fact, before we can transform other people and other cultures, we have to work on our own mindsets. So something from Mahatma Gandhi. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. So that's a progression from our thoughts to our destiny. But that's a really powerful quote that talks about mindset. So you hear people say fixed mindset, growth mindset. So a fixed mindset is really something that experts fall back on. It is what it is. I know what I know. It is the way that it is. And a growth mindset is focusing more on learning and challenging what you know. So here are a couple thoughts. And again, not my words, because people have said really great things about all of this already. But let's take a look at something that Carol Dweck said about a fixed mindset. It's symbolized by the everyday expert. Remember, I said experts. I know what I know. I'm going to tell you and share with you what I know. I don't necessarily need to know a whole lot of other things because what I know is what fits into the box that I'm in right now. So people that are in a fixed mindset, organizations that are in a fixed mindset are in that box. They're in a box. Me, I don't know where the boxes actually are. I'm all over the place. But people get in those boxes. So Carol Dweck said, in a fixed mindset, people believe their basic abilities, their intelligence, their talents are fixed traits. They have a certain amount, and that's that. And then their goal becomes to look smart all the time and never look dumb. That expert mindset, that fixed mindset. Whereas she says a growth mindset is symbolized by the everyday learner. So for me, I probably make people very crazy because I'm always reading and digging, and sometimes I can get a bit scattered because I see something in an article and then I start down a rabbit hole of learning more about it. So that everyday learner. In a growth mindset, Carol continues, people understand that their talents and abilities can be developed through effort and persistence. They don't necessarily think everyone's the same or anyone can be an Einstein, but they believe everyone can be smarter with work. So that concept of evolution. So how does that relate? How do we get from a growth mindset to an agile mindset? They're kind of similar, aren't they? Because if we go back to our term agile, that ability to be flexible, adaptable, understand the need for change, that's part of the growth mindset, right? With a growth mindset, we see failure as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to change things. We accept challenges to what we already know. We like to try new things. Now, that is not to say that change is not uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Even to me, the person out there digging around, finding new things to get herself into, change is uncomfortable. And there are things that I really hit a wall with when it comes to change, and I really, really struggle with them. So it's not to say that we're all, singing kumbaya and have flowers in our hair and everything's all dandy and it's all great with a growth mindset. No, it just means that we're willing to constantly step to the edge of our cliff, look over the edge and see what's next and be willing to explore it. So organizations that work with that mindset, that growth mindset, or that ability to be agile and shift, they're falling back on that concept that everything has to provide value, and we're going to change and evolve and learn based on that premise. So while yes, a company cannot survive if it's not profitable, we have to make profits. We're going to make those profits not by focusing on the profit, but by focusing on the purpose and making sure that we are constantly building value into what we do. Because if we're doing things that provide value, then the profits will come with it, right? Same thing with how we evolve the teams from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset or in a transformation. In a fixed mindset, if you have somebody who's the expert, if you have somebody that has the answers, that knows the answers, then you will end up with a more hierarchical organization instead of dispersing the talent and empowering the teams to work with you on the solution and the purpose and the value. So you go from that growth or that fixed to the growth. Oh, we're over here, and I already know what we need to do, and this is the path we're going to follow, and we're all going to be little soldiers and follow along, to empowering the teams to explore. We're going to go from planning out every last step to incorporating experimentation to look at different solutions and what possible avenues we can take when we are making decisions. So again, fixed versus growth. Over here, we know the answer, so we can write the step-by-step plan. Growth, we know where we want to go, or we think we know where we want to go. That may change or evolve, but we're going to experiment. We're going to empower people to do that experimentation and make sure that what we are deciding adds that value and that purpose. And we don't have to keep things closed in. Especially if you've ever worked in the government, people will say, oh, everybody keeps things close hold because they're afraid somebody else might take their job if they know what they know. In a growth mindset, you don't want to be the only one with the information. Trust me, I never want to be the only one with the information, because that means you're the one stuck doing all the work. And that's not how an organization should work. So instead of keeping everything close hold, you're going to be more transparent. We're going to share knowledge. We're going to exchange ideas. and we're going to build those levels of trust working towards our purpose. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So if you think of it this way, we don't want to be fixed or stuck. We want to grow. We want to evolve. We want to be experimenting and changing. And that's what leads to agility. Because we're stuck and we already know everything and we can put the process together and just step by step by step, there is no purpose in evolving and growing. We're just going to do it until we die. And that does not create an evolution in our organization. That does not create agility. So hopefully you found that really useful and it's triggered some things with you. If you want an exercise to do at home, get out a piece of paper and write down the things in either your life or your organization, depends how broad you want to go with it, that you think are in a growth mindset and things that you think are in a fixed mindset. So take a look at your organization and, if there's something you're like, why do we keep doing the same thing over and over again? It doesn't really make any sense. It's probably because that's in a fixed mindset. It's probably because someone has said, we've always done it this way and it works. It probably doesn't work. It's just easier for them to do it that way. But think about what is happening in your organization and what is fixed and what is growth. What is providing value and what is not. There may be something, I'm willing to concede, there may be something where fixed makes sense. I'd love for you to share with me what that is, because I'm not totally convinced, but let's give it a whirl. So your activity, if you want something to do using this information, is think about what's happening in your organization and what is coming from a fixed mindset and what is coming from a growth mindset. And if you have a lot of things in the fixed mindset column, think about how you could shake those loose. How could they become more of a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset? So we are out of time for today. The time goes so fast when I'm just yammering on, doesn't it? We are out of time for today. I hope that you found this information useful. As always, this will be available for replay. You can check out our blogs. As I mentioned, don't miss our blog tomorrow from Kyle about the growth mindset. And follow us on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. And if you are interested in learning more about this topic, please make sure you check out learning.agilityforall.com and all of our group coaching programs, because we explore these ideas in depth and you really get to think about where you are, where you want to be, and where your organization is. So that's it for today, everybody. Next week, I believe we're talking about failure. Let's see what we come up with. All right, bye, everybody.